Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. Welcome to tonight's live stream. Where's everybody watching from? Where's everybody watching from? And also, let me know if you can hear me clearly. Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bruce. Appreciate your message. God bless you. I see Lancaster, CA, California. Oh, thank you very much. God bless you. We thank God. God is good. All right. San Antonio, Texas. I've been to San Antonio. This is probably the reason why I was up late this night. How's it going, Ricky? What's going on? Leadership. North Carolina, Charlotte, Bay Area, California, Florida. I'm watching from work. London, Germany, Los Angeles, Trinidad and Tobago, United Kingdom, Concord, North Carolina. I see Canada. I see Washington State. All right. All right. If you're watching for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your notification so it lets you know first when I come online. Okay. And again, I make these videos, helping you open your eyes to the reality of what's really going on behind the scenes. Now, I understand that there's a lot of corruption in the church, but there are a lot of good things actually in the church. And I've, just over the last months, put into consideration highlighting also good things and good people in the church. So with that being said, if you go through my YouTube page, you will notice that I have started to also highlight really good things happening in the church, right? I think when people come to my page, they should be able to see good things and also the exposés and then teachings, right? Which for the past, I'll say since July, I've been very consistent with, having series, every Sunday, okay? Almost every Sunday. Right now we're in the rest series. Check it out, at your convenience. Anyway, with that being said, let's jump right into today's live stream. I have an update from the court. Okay, I have an update from the court. So after myself and Jax were sued, okay, my argument, the lawyer put in an argument for me. Great lawyer, by the way. I believe that God helped us, pick this lawyer. I think it was a divine appointment. I believe he's a miracle. Okay. The lawyer, his first argument was, I don't live in California, so why should I be subject to the court of California? Okay, so essentially the way these things go is this goes to trial, whatever, right? So that was his first argument. And he told me something. He said there's something called an anti-SLAPP, okay? Anti-SLAPP is where I get to just share my religious opinion on things, right? Freedom of speech. And it protects essentially the everyday person. Now, he's filed both of these things, okay? Now, there was a small problem. Okay, here's a small problem. When I opened up my account, I lived outside of the country. I had this account. I lived out of the country. And so at that time, obviously, I was very good friends with Lovy. So I used his address in California to open the account. Okay. Obviously, my driver's license, everything is, I don't have a California driver's license, obviously. I have a Florida license. Everything else is Florida. Okay. So what my lawyer was trying to do was say, he don't live in California. So this shouldn't be a California issue. You need to take it out of the courts in California. And which is my take as well. Well, his lawyer was like, no, he does live in California. He's connected to California, blah, blah, blah. So, of course, I think I told you guys this. They're all connected with my ex-wife or whatever. So I submitted some documents, some bank statements, and it had all my the address, from when I put it in there. Even though I have changed the address, it just happened to show up on my court documents. So it's literally his address on my court document, not my address, his address. Okay, from those years or whatever. So they quickly took that and filed it into the court. So because this is not trial, so we can't say, I can come forward and say, well, that's not my address, I don't live there, that's actually his address. The judge did something where he just heard both parties, took all the documents and reviewed the documents, and then made a decision. So this is not a decision on the case, it's simply a decision on whether I need to go before a court in California, right? Or they need to kick it out of the courts of California. So because of those statements, obviously, the judge says, well, we're going to deny a motion to dismiss the case because of jurisdictional issues, right? So, of course, I still don't live in California. If you know me, I've lived in Florida this whole time. So again, technicalities, and that's why there's a trial. Okay. And so that's where we're at. But I believe that, someone told me something. They said, before this outcome came, the person said, I believe this is the outcome that will come out of it. And when the outcome comes, the person said, if the outcome comes like this, it is because God wants to expose more things in the meantime about things you don't even know about. Okay. And, when you hear a word like that, you don't want to accept that kind of word, right? You're like, no, I'm going to believe the best case scenario, right? So that's what has happened, of course. And so all this simply means is that, yes, the case does continue, and heading towards trial, that is. So we're here. We're confident. It's I think it's part of the journey. It's part of the what's the word? It's part of the proceedings, right? Ultimately, all of these things will work together for our good. Okay, this is, and I know what's gonna happen now. They're gonna make videos. You see, the judge dismissed his motion for this. We're winning. Like, it's not a win. Like, this is not a win. A judge saying, well, I sent a bank statement and you're gonna be here, or whatever. Even not without hearing me on the stand saying, hey, that's not my address, that's his address, and showing that I actually lived outside of the country. I have my addresses from outside of the country. You see what I'm saying? So showing that to the court, like, there's going to be time for all of that. Unfortunately, it's just not the time for that. So I wanted to come on here quickly and share with you the updates. Now, here's what's going to happen. Okay, because I already know the play. Here's what's going to happen. What's going to happen is that the other party is going to go out and say, you see, they dismissed the motion for motion to dismiss, and he's not going to explain all of these things I've just said, right? What he's going to do is he's going to blow it up. He's going to ignore all the other lawsuits that have been brought against him for sexual battery, sexual assault, all of those things, right? This whole issues with boys being raped and everything, and boys being assaulted, all those things are going to be ignored. He's not going to talk about that. He's going to blow up this. Say, oh my God. And I'm always right when it comes to these things, because not because I want to be right, but because somehow we've been able to see through the nonsense. Right? And it's just textbook manipulation. It's textbook narcissism. Is it narcissism? Textbook narcissism. So, if you're, if you're following the case, if I know people have reached out and, trying to do class actions and things like that. And also people have been threatened in the meantime. Okay. People have been threatened in the meantime. You see what I'm saying? And people are being called and they're paying people off. You need to stand your ground. Don't be a chicken. Don't be like, oh my God, they dismissed the motion to dismiss because of jurisdiction, whatever, whatever. Oh my God, I don't know. Like, don't let those things get into your ears, right? Stand your ground. This is not going away anytime soon. You see what I'm saying? This is not going away anytime soon. There's so much that needs to unfold. There's so much that has to unfold. So much needs to unfold. So much has to unfold. In the meantime, okay, in the meantime, I'm going to tell you this. And I want you to remember this. In the meantime, I want you to remember this. What pride does is that pride makes you feel invincible. Pride makes you feel untouchable. I was watching the documentary, what was it called? The Reckoning. Okay. If you haven't watched it, you should check it out. Okay. Now, I was watching the documentary. In the documentary, there was a pattern of getting away with things until you could no longer get away with things. There's a pattern of that. But what happens when you keep getting away with things is that things keep piling up. And so you feel you're invincible. Y'all hear me now? So you believe you're invincible. So because you believe you're invincible, you're going to do more things in the meantime. But unfortunately, those things that you're doing, you're not protected from them. And what happens with a lot of these people is because they got away with those original things and they feel invincible, they're going to do even worse things. But what they forget is that even those close to you that see the reality, at some point they get fed up. At some point they get fed up. When they get fed up, what do you think they're going to start doing? What do you think they start doing? They're going to start talking. Now, there's a difference between petty things and grotesque things. Okay. Here's the petty thing. A petty thing is Thank you, team. A petty thing is this. Your brother, biological brother, is going online begging people for $20, $30, $70. Some lady is paying for his rent for 6 months, okay, while you have multiple houses. Okay, that's petty. That's not a crime. It just simply shows your character. It shows you're not a good person. It shows you're a horrible person. Okay. Now hear me. Here's another petty thing. That while your brother is begging for $70, okay? I mean, if you guys watch my live stream from yesterday, you would have heard me speak on this. You would have heard me talk about this. I'm gonna just throw this in real quick from yesterday. Okay, so this video from yesterday.
Sorry to bother you, Mama. There's something I'm doing, and I need $70. Okay. I don't know if you're capable to help me, Mama. No, you're the only one my last option, Mama. Sorry to bother you again. If you can, please help. Thank you, Mama.
Okay, so this was, look at the date. The date is April 24th, and then July 4th, July 10th, August 31st, same year, by the way. He's sending all this to his girlfriend, okay? One of his many girlfriends, if you may. So this is petty. This is like, it just shows you have bad character. This is not like a crime. This is not like sexual battery that he doesn't want to give his brother $70. Now, what's really weird, if you're African, okay? If you're African, you're going to understand what I'm about to say. Not a lot of people will get what I'm about to say. But if you're African, you will. And it's going to make sense. I'm going to explain it to the rest of the audience. I'm going to explain it. I want you to look at this. All right, so this is a post by Jax, okay? And while we're at it, I thank God, because now I got more time to break down the that's going on. I got more time. Okay. We're going to go to University of Exposing False Prophets. It's going to be a very, very fun ride. We're going to go together. Now, I get a call. I get a call from a guy called William Undi, and I'm going to say his name. I'm going to say his name, and it's going to make sense over time. Okay. I'm going to tell you why I'm saying his name, because this is a person that I believed to be a prophet. It was a person that I had trusted as a prophet. Okay. And everything I'm going to tell you, I have receipts of it. I have recordings of it. I have screenshots of the things I'm going to say. And we're going to open that file very soon. Just not today. William Undi gets on the phone with me. He calls Lovy. Lovy tells him on the call. And then over a message, and they're talking about him going to Africa when all of the issues first started. And he told William, he said, I've been advised to go to South Africa and fly my brother and meet my brother there so that I can make a documentary that shows my genesis, and my brother can also come into the picture, and it'll show that our family's together. Notice that this guy never posted their family together, ever. He's never posted their family together. Okay. His brothers, he made a statement about Jax's kids. He said, Jax, she don't even take care of her kids, which is a lie. You're pointing fingers at people's kids. My question is, when was the last time your brother saw his kids? For all these years, you're so rich. They could be going to see him every year. 1 year, 2 times a year. With all the money you have. But your brother is in people's DMs begging for $20, $30, sometimes $5. Sometimes $5. Now, here's why this is so annoying. You post your brother, you take a flight, fly him to come see you, just to make a PR stunt. This flight, he went with at least 4 people who he paid their flights. At least 4 people. Okay. Yes, he did some meeting when he was there, but your goal was to damage control. If your family lives in Africa, would the wise thing to do not be to send that money you paid on your flight alone? Let's say you flew business class. That's let me not make assumptions. Los Angeles. Let's just check it now to Johannesburg. Let's do Los Angeles to Johannesburg flight. Okay. Let's just do okay, business class or first class, because he does first class with you know who. Okay, so if you do British Airways, that's at least $16,000. 16,000. That's 1/6. Okay, now at least 1 or 2 people he's with. If you do Emirates, you're stopping at Dubai. That's $22,000. On the lower side, $10,500. Okay, $10,500. Don't you think the smart thing would have been to give your brother that money? Yes, it's your money, do as you please. But your brother begged people for money every day online while you're giving your women words of cash, which is your money. You do whatever you like. But don't come out and tell people they're not taking care of their family when you're not doing the same thing. Let me show you guys something. Here's another screenshot. Okay. So you brag about how you spent $1 million helping people. You spent $1 million helping people. The question is, who did you help with this $1 million? Because I'm going to show you this. And the only reason I'm highlighting this is because the likes of Jax, who you said doesn't take care of her family. And you went online making fun of people. And then you fly to go do this damage control. So look at what his ex-girlfriend says. Remember, yesterday, someone was saying the thing about I said the thing about the $200, and someone had she told me, okay. I was talking with Jax as well. I was like, Jax, I don't remember sending $200, but glory to God. Shoot. So the story got clarified. Here's clarity. So this is a message. Richard viewed those boys as his kids when their mom was in jail. He sacrificed everything for them. It was coming to earth. Not only did he send thousands of women, spent 10,000 women, he paid bills, ran the church. Okay, so it's a little bit graphic. Okay, so forgive me. He had plenty of access to money. I sent Richie money for food, and eventually my family paid his rent in Nairobi for 6 months to a year until we couldn't. So they used all their money to pay for his brother's rent until the family couldn't anymore. I didn't ask EJ for money. I simply told him that I didn't have money to buy groceries because I had sent some money to Richie so he wouldn't starve. And I had ceded to Lovy. Watch this. Not to me, to Lovy. He's the one who offered the money and sent me $200. I'd been editing for him. I was so irate when I found out that Lovy was giving money to Sheridan. I found out way back in 2020 that that's the main reason I left, other than how they treated me. I did something that Maggie didn't like, and so she created a little campaign to shun me. Both Lovy and Maggie insinuated that Richie is lazy, saying things like he just needs to hustle, which I can attest to. They did say that, okay? And he's the most hardworking person I know. Rich is a kind-hearted person, and Lovy, in my opinion, treats him like SHIT, like Lovy's in charge of. Okay, so I'm pointing this out because you don't go online and you do all these things. And like I said, This is not a crime. This is petty. It's just petty. Now, here is where the problem comes. Here's where the problem comes. The problem comes when you choose to address these things, but they're allegations. They're allegations. Really terrible allegations. Okay. And I don't think today is the day for this, because I have to address this. At some point, I have to address this, right? So many things that they have thrown at me. They said, EJ did this, EJ did this, EJ did this. But then after time passes, you realize, I never did that. Y'all did that. Okay. You did that. I didn't do that. You did that. So why do you keep throwing things and putting my name on it when you were the one that did it? Constantly. And I realized that it's a part of the whole plot. Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story. I'm going to tell y'all a story. And I'm going to tell you a little portion of the story because I want to come on. Okay. I want to come on. Okay, this person, you always come into comments. If you don't want to watch, please don't watch. Please, team, help me block this person, please. You don't got to watch, okay? You don't have to watch. You don't have to be here. You're not forced to be here. Please, if you think it's gossip, if you think it's tea, you need to go. You see what I'm saying? Go. It's fine. You don't need to be here, please. You're not being forced to be here. You know what I mean? So, no, I don't have to jump to the point. I'm going to take my sweet time. So, let me take my sweet time. But in the meantime, my team is going to block you, okay? So, God bless you and have a good day. So, one of the things that was said in the beginning of all this, somebody came out and said that EJ drugged them. EJ drugged, and at the first they didn't say assault, they said EJ drugged them. Okay. Now, I kept asking myself, like, why would this person say this? Why would this person say this? And so, you know, when people are trying to create things to slander you, and they're trying to create stories, they're going to tell on themselves. So I'll tell you a story. So I went to the Bahamas, which I didn't want to go, by the way. I kept saying, I don't want to go. I didn't want to go. They kept pressuring, no, just come. Prophet, you need to rest. You need to rest. You need to rest. You work so hard. And I have the text messages. You work so hard. You need to rest. You need to rest. You need to rest. Okay. So I said, okay. I decided the day off. Okay. I decided the day off that I'm going to go, or the night off that I'm going to go. I didn't want to go. You see, and here's one thing you guys need to learn. Just heed to the Spirit of God. Sometimes the Spirit of God is not this loud voice banging in your mind like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do. No, it's just like this knowing, like, maybe you shouldn't go. I went on the trip, right? Someone got us our flight out there, my family and I. So we flew out there. I was with two of my kids. Okay, the other kid was still at her mom's. And we went there. Now I don't drink anymore, okay? But at that point, I drank. So I said, can I have a drink? I asked my assistant, hey, can you bring me a drink? So when I'm waiting for my drink, I hear a knock on my door. When I look outside my door, it's not my assistant with the drink. It's somebody that we went with, which is the person that is now accusing me of this nonsense, okay? Is this person, and the person has the drinks. And I said, can you leave it outside the door? Okay. Can you leave it outside the door? So the person puts the drinks outside the door. I waited. She walked away. I took my drinks. I called my assistant. I said, like, what the heck was that about? I told you to bring my drinks. You gave somebody else to bring my drink. Like, now, this is just how I am. If you come to my church, I don't really eat in people's houses like that. I'm very cautious. I don't drink things from people. When you bring a drink to me, I have to hear the crack. You open it in front of me. I open my drinks myself. So I'm very, very particular about that. And this has nothing to do with who. It's not saying anything on you. It's just me. This is just how I am. So if I don't take something from you, don't feel like I'm disrespecting you. I love you. It's just something I've done. My parents have taught me this, okay? So just want to clarify that. So if I don't eat from you, I don't drink from you, don't think I hate you. I don't hate you. So like, what the heck? Like, why did you know what I mean? It was just kind of weird to me. Like, I didn't ask that person for drinks. Why are you bringing a drink to my door? So I take the first sip of the drink. I'm like, oh my God, we're in the Bahamas. I'm like, yo, they have some strong stuff here. Like, and for some reason, I started thinking of these pirate movies. Look at how silly I was. I started thinking of these pirate movies. I like pirate shows, I'm like, man, this must have been. I watched a show called Black Sail back in the day. I'm like, this must be the Bahamian drink. Maybe that's why it's so strong. I'm like, this doesn't taste like it should taste. Something is off. But I don't read into it. Okay, now this is the second time that I'm in proximity with this person and they've given me a drink and my body begins to act weird. The first time was my wife's birthday. I asked for a tea to be made for me. I asked a certain person to make tea for me. Okay. The person made the tea for me. Brought the tea. Somebody else brought the tea. I was like, what? Okay. So all of a sudden, my body began to shake. My body began to vibrate physically. So I told my wife, I said, hey, we need to go. Guys, thank you for the celebration. We have to go. I don't feel the best. So we're in the car. I'm like, did I get poisoned? And I'm thinking, the person that made me this tea, this is one of the few people I eat their food. Do you think they have something against me? Because I know it's from when I drank that tea, I felt off. So eventually I just had to be honest with the person. I kept it in my heart for so long. I'm like, I need to bring this up. So I asked the person, I said, hey, you made me this tea and what did you put in it? Because I started shaking after I took it. And my body felt off. I was hot, cold. The person said, I didn't make the tea. This person, same lady, she said, this person told me that you wanted them to make the tea. So the person took over the job and went to make the tea. Yeah. Now, I'm thinking, what would be the point of trying to, first of all, what did you put inside the tea? What did you put inside the tea? I don't say nothing else. I let it go. Because we're outside of this situation now. This all happened in the span of what? February through July, August. This is a span last year. So I'm just like, okay, this is weird. I get a call one day, and in that person's house, Lovy's calling their mother, and he's saying, there's no longer going to be Great Grace anymore. This is going to be Great Grass. This is like February, March, around then. And the person doesn't give me this audio until later. Like, hey, you people around you are kind of phony. I want you to be careful. But it's already too late. You're telling me this now. You're showing me this now. Okay. Whatever. Okay. And this is how I was just like, man, y'all been planning this for that long. You should have just talked to me. We could have figured something out. You didn't need to do all that. Okay. By the way, if you're watching this video, smash the like button. You may not be able to make crazy videos like this. You may not be able to come online and just tell your story and be, forefront, but somebody is doing it and somebody's helping, the body wake up to the reality of false prophets. So smash the like button. Even though you may not be able to make these videos, you can help somebody else their eyes get open, because the algorithm will push it to them. So we have close to 300 people watching, not as many likes. So hit the like button. It'll help spread the word, okay? Without you even having to share the video. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. So fast forward, we're in this Bahamas. I drink a little bit of this, then I throw the rest of it away. I go downstairs. My wife is downstairs. My assistant is downstairs. I go. When I get downstairs, I see my wife walking towards the hotel. I said, babe. She don't say nothing to me. She's like dazed, like she's out of it. I said, babe. She didn't respond. I shouted, Darian. She turned around. She's like slurring. She's like, listen, she's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm not about to do this with church folks right now. She said, I just drank a little bit, a tiny bit. And I don't know what's going on. She's like, I gotta leave right now. I'm not about to do this. She said, I'm not about to do this, church people. I'm leaving. So I'm about to respect myself. I said, okay, I'm gonna walk you to the room. I said, where's our assistant? Because we went to our assistant. I said, the assistant is in the bar. I said, okay, I'll walk you. I'll go check on our assistant, who's like a member of our family now. So I took her to the room. She went to the room, and her body rejected this thing. Okay, but we don't think there's anything wrong yet. We just think the drink in Bahamas is crazy. It's their alcohol. I'm going back downstairs. I call my assistant. I'm like, hey, I just took mom upstairs. Like, where are you? Like, I'm coming back downstairs. Meet me downstairs or whatever. So she's walking to me. I'm walking downstairs. Okay. When I get close to her, just tell me yes or no if I can share. Share. Okay. When I walk down close to her, I've never seen her do this before. This is somebody who is like well kept, responsible. Like, this is probably one of the most responsible people that we've ever worked with. Okay. One of the most responsible. If I were to give a recommendation, I would give this person a big A recommendation. Godwin, I gotta call you actually. Text me your number today. I need to call you. I was thinking about you yesterday. I'm like, I need to call him. So, there's the pool, and these beach seats, the pool seats or whatever. She was like, I don't know what's going on. She said like, I don't know what's that. And she like falls on the pool thing. And I look like, I'm like, ain't no way you acting out like this in front of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to like check her, rebuke her, whatever. And she's like, I don't know. She's like acting like this. You see what I'm saying? I said, what is in the drink here? Like, is the alcohol just this strong? And while she's saying it, I begin to feel very drunk. Mind you, I only took a small sip of that thing upstairs. And I poured away the rest. And then there was another. Did you bring a cup to me when you were coming to me? Or I had a cup, was another cup with me? Okay. Brought a cup, okay. And I'm like, yo, I threw my thing or whatever. I don't know if I had another cup or whatever. So I'm like, what's going on? Like, the alcohol here is so strong. Okay. So I'm like, okay, where is everybody? I'm like, if my wife is messed up, my assistant is messed up, everybody else got to be messed up. I'm like assuming, right? I said, take me to everybody now. We're leaving. We're leaving because I'm like I'm in daddy mode. I'm in protective mode, right? I'm in like leader. Let's make this leader mode, right? So we walk to the bar, and when we walk to the bar, the guy serving the drinks, the guy tells the lady, I forgot what happened. Something happened. It was like a little altercation. Or when we walked in, she was like, the girl was like this on the table. So he said no more drinks, right? Something like that. He was tapping her. He was like, lady, lady. He was like, push. And I was like, yo, I said, you better get your hands off of her, right? Okay, forgive me, okay? I'm saved, I'm sanctified. But if you know me, when it comes to people I consider family, I can get very protective. I can get very protective very quickly. So I'm like, you better get your hands off of her. And now I have our security person with us. He's upstairs. And the guy's like, he's saying something to me. He's saying like, I forgot what he said. I don't remember the whole thing. But I'm like, yo, I said, yo, you better watch who you talking to. You better watch yourself. Da, 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 da. I'm getting heated. So I text my guy. I was like, hey, you may need to come downstairs because there's a weird guy here. And she's like drunk. Like, I'm slowly trying to like put everything together. Okay. So then I'm like, am I going to start something in another country? Am I going to start a fight in another country? I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. Self-control, right? So I was like, there was another drink. Like there was a cocktail for me there. Like, I don't know, it was like in a tin. I drank a little bit of it. Okay, I drank a little bit of it. And so I said, let's go. That moment I said, let's go, that lady could not walk anymore. She could not walk. Me, I barely drank. Guys, my vision blurry. I'm like, yo, I'm never drinking anything in this country anymore. I'm like, this is not about being lightweight. This is like some crazy stuff. Okay, I can't explain it to you. It's blurry. I'm feeling like I drank a whole bottle or whatever. I'm like, I'm swaying a little bit. So I said, okay, let's walk. She's like, she can't walk. She's falling. Okay, I said, climb on my back. I said, put on my back. There's another girl. That other girl is also part of Surviving Grace because it's a couple of them part of that survival. That smear campaign they did for me. So I said, put her on my back. I'm gonna walk. Guys, I'm in a terrible state and I'm trying to look out for this person. So my assistant is there. I tell myself, if anything goes wrong, please message. I'm not gonna say his name. He was a head of security. So we go upstairs. On the way upstairs, she throws up on my clothes. Throw up nasty on my clothes. I don't take it anyway. I just the two of them, they're not really sisters or whatever. They go open the door, we put her on her bed, whatever. Now I'm gonna fast forward the story. Maybe I should tell this part of the story. I should fast forward the story. Maybe I should get counsel because I want to provide receipts. Okay? I want to provide receipts while I'm telling you the stories. Okay, which I will. I'm gonna make a whole segment where I'm going to be showing you receipts as I'm telling you this story. So fast forward, we come back to Miami, but in the hotel lobby, I'm like, yo, yesterday was weird. Like, my wife don't remember much, my sister don't remember much. I remember until a certain point. I remember until a certain point. Then I don't remember for a long time. Like when I woke up, I was disoriented. Okay, and I feel like this part is like very relevant to the story because I keep asking myself now, after watching the Diddy documentary, what happened to us? What happened to us? And I talked to and when we came back, there was an issue in our church with this couple where they needed, it was something with the CPS, and so they was going to bring the baby to where it was going to take care of the something happened. Okay, something happened. Anyway, wife, my assistant, they needed to do some drug tests, just not because they do drugs, but because they needed to be able to say, hey, we're good people, we can take care of the child. So they did the drug test. That's week after we came back from the Bahamas. Something showed up in their drug test. It's the thing that they call what? It was called benzos. So it's rufinol. So benzos, this thing is called rufinol. So you hear the word roofies, that's rufinol. So I'm like, it's the bar guy. That's what I'm thinking. The bar guy roofied them. The bar guy roofied them. 100% the bar guy roofied them. I'm like 100% the bar guy roofied them. Okay? So, here's where it gets weird. My wife tells this person, my wife said, hey, we took a drug test, and when we took the drug test, we realized that we were roofied. That it was benzos. And the person said, oh, I already know, I took a drug test too. So my wife was like, you took a drug test, you found out you were roofied, you didn't tell us. And why would you take a drug test? What made you take a drug test? We took a drug test because we had to bring a child to the house. Why did you take a drug? Why would you know that it was a rufinol? But it went past our head. Now, when I was watching the Diddy documentary, and my wife said something. I said, why would the person do this? My wife said, because there are people that do it for fun. They will lace you and lace themselves. I'm like, no way. I did not believe it until yesterday when I watched that documentary, where people were saying, we don't remember things. We never consented to doing drugs. We never consented to doing drugs. And by the way, when we woke up, that person woke up first before everybody else. Meaning that they probably took the appropriate dosage of that thing and gave us whatever dosage they liked. I've never shown this one before. Maybe I should wait another live I show this one when I can gather more things. So now, this happened in... When did it happen? April. This happened in April. I'm going to tell you how evil the devil is. This happened in April. In July, so we're past it, we've forgotten about it. Nobody's thinking this girl drugged us. Nobody thought that. Because why would she drug us? This I've never shown before. I think I'll show it.
Hello, Kelly.
I'll show this today. So I'm thinking, why would they drug us? I get a message on Instagram. The message says, hey, Papa, please tell my family I'm not a bad person if anything happens to me. I say, what happened to you? The person said, I drank too much. Sorry, no. I did some drugs and I OD'd. I overdosed. And the person said, I'm blacking out right now. So I'm concerned. The person said, don't tell my parents. I'm like, oh my God. Like, he said, tell my parents. And so don't tell my parents if nothing happens, but if something happens, tell them that I want you to let them know I'm a good person, whatever. I feel like I'm dying. She said this to me on Instagram. Now on Instagram, I messaged the person and I said, hey, please delete this message from your side. Now, here's one thing that people don't know about me. Okay. Let me minimize this. One thing that people don't know about me is this. Again, just the same way my parents, I need to minimize this picture inside here. Just the same way my parents taught me, please don't eat in people's houses. Don't eat in people's houses. Be careful of what you drink. I made sure that even when I send things, okay, my team manages my I used to manage my Instagram. Okay, once in a while they still manage it, so they all have access. So what I usually would do is, if someone's going to tell me something that they think, I say, okay, put vanish mode. I'll say delete it. I'll delete it too. Okay. So after all these things happen, now these guys are front row Lovy's church, Revelation Canada. They're front row. There are documents, many documents that connect them. There are calls that people have recorded, all of them on the call, planning for the downfall of EJ, which will not happen in Jesus' name. And now I know I can talk, so I'm going to talk. Again, I haven't shown this before, and I'm not going to show the Instagram one today. I'm keeping that. I have a file of things I'm not showing yet. Just the same way I had this voice note from his brother for years. I never showed it. I have a file. So I said delete the Instagram message. Then the person said she was on a flight. She was flying. The parents have like a thing, whatever, a company. So when the person landed, I text the person on July. This is July. I'm going to get the dates. I removed some of the messages, okay, because that will come later. You know, people like to be selective in the things they show. They're selective, and then they change the story. Don't change the story. We're gonna tell the story. July 4th, okay, July 4th, 2024, at 7:56 a.m. I messaged, hey, the person's name, with a heart. I said, are you okay? Because the person was flying. The person replied me, just came to, I think when I say it myself, my head is pounding, so is my heart. That was an horrific experience. Connection is bad. I woke up because we're landing. I'm hurting. I just remember shaking uncontrollably and my vision went black. Please, can this go nowhere? I said, yes, it will go nowhere. Can you also delete it on your end as well? The person said, yes. I said, I couldn't hear. I called back. I said, I couldn't hear anything. Guys, do you know what has saved me in a lot of these issues? When people go out, make videos. Somebody came and made a video and lied in the video. But I have our messages. So after you're done lying, when the lie is finished, I'll come out and I'll tell my own side of the story. So you can explain, how does the text message thread, the full text message thread, differ from your story? You made a video to make yourself look good. And there's so many of that, and we're going to get to it. Because these are not the only people doing it. Now, watch this. This is the same symptom that I experienced on my wife's birthday. Number one, my body was temperature off, on, my body shaking uncontrollably. I fell asleep in the car. In the Bahamas, my vision was blurred. I don't remember many things. I blacked out. My wife blacked out. Our assistant blacked out. Now, here's where it gets funky. Here is where it gets funky. The person, I'm not going to show you that screenshot today. I'll show you later. The person came on their slander page and said this. The person said, EJ gave me a drink to drink and I got, but I knew it was spiked, so I gave it to his wife. But here's the problem. Hotels have cameras, right? There's also a text thread and a call thread. There's a text thread and a call thread. And the text thread, I asked my assistant to get me a drink. Called, hey, whatever. Why didn't you give me a da-da-da? What the heck is this you gave me? I go downstairs. There's a text thread. There's a text thread of texting my security guy what's going on, which I'm yet to share because you let people say their piece first, which I'm yet to share, y'all. Lovy, what did I do to you? What did I do to you? Why do you hate me this much? I got kids. I have a family. Is the world not big? Is California not big enough for you? Why do you hate me? Is it forced to be friends? Now, let me finish. This person said she gave my wife the drink because she knew because I came out and said, hey, hotels have cameras. So the person tried to change the story that she gave me. But here's the problem. I never gave you a drink. You gave me a drink. And now you've just confessed to giving my wife that drink. And I was not present when my wife had that drink. And neither did I give you any drink. So you, in your own handwriting, have come out and said you gave my wife a drink. Just because you was trying to make me look bad, you told on yourself. Now, my family doesn't have access to drugs. That person's family happens to run a facility where they have access to drugs. A lot of drugs, a lot of different kind of drugs. In fact, one of the major drugs is called methadone, which is what you give meth addicts that are trying to recover. I don't know how to get my hands on these kind of drugs, but one person does, and that's not me. So who drugged me? Who drugged my wife and who drugged my assistant? Because on the 14th of July, at 7:56 a.m., we had this conversation and you had the exact symptoms and I wasn't with you on that flight. So how do you have the exact same symptoms that we all had? It means you did it us. You drugged yourself and you drugged us for fun. And Lord knows what else you did that for. So help me understand. So when y'all keep hearing, oh, he drugged this person, how? How? And I'm gonna tell you this. And I'm gonna tell you this. We continue to visit these people, or visit with them. They'll cook for us, we'll eat. They'll cook for us, we'll eat. Even when my wife was pregnant, we'll still have these people around. Do you know how my wife's first pregnancy was announced? They put it on a slander page. No decency. What did you gain from doing that? Nothing. And you didn't even, nobody's, we moved on. We moved on. What did you gain from that? Nothing. So you keep telling people that I drugged you. But what is this? What is this? Help me understand. Guys, am I tripping? And this person has this person is known to do drugs. How did I not think this person could be doing all of this? Help me understand. You go to church, you see church people, you're like, hey, church people, I'm safe. Only for you to get drugged. By who? Church people. Then after being drugged by church people, the church people go out and say that you drug them. Am I crazy for thinking this? Church people, y'all. I carried you when you were drunk. You threw up on my back, on my shoulder, on my cloth. But the whole time, you were the reason why we all blacked out. Is that not devilish? And this person now went and started telling people that before I found out later, the person was saying, if he didn't marry Darren, he would have married me. How? Where? Married you for what? If he didn't marry Darren, he would have married me. Is this the kind of person somebody marries? We don't even have that kind of relationship. You never met me in that kind of vibe. What are you talking about? So are you jealous of me? Are you jealous? Is that what it is? Are you just, what's wrong with you? How does that make any sense? And this person has gone around the church. I mean, slept with half of the church, by the way. And I've had to mediate. I've had to be a mediator. One day, somebody came to church you're married. Somebody's coming to fight your husband in the parking lot. You bring embarrassment to the family, and I had to mediate. Why? How do you explain this? How? In church, y'all. These are people I cried to. I told them my issue. When the whole thing with Lovy, when I put it together, I told them. Guys, I told you guys the story of how I would just drink. I would just be like, I'm done. They knew. They knew. They're the ones I told. So you invite me on a vacation to kill me? Really? And then they started the church, and Daniel Adams was their oga, their chief. And then Daniel Adams' assistant was bullying our assistant as a girl. How do you bully women? How do you bully girls? Guys, it's so much things I have, so much things I've not said. I'm not saying it not because I can't say it. But you keep just pushing somebody's hand. You think you're going to get away with all these things? You think money is going to save you? You really think money is going to save you? You know what the perfect crime is, guys? The perfect crime is when you commit a crime, but you take that crime and place it on somebody else. And you spread that narrative. That's the perfect crime. You try to commit the perfect crime, but unfortunately, you've left a trail. You've left a trail. And the trail is so loud. And I'm welcoming you to the era of exposing. If you thought I exposed before, no. What I did was I just talked. I just said one or two things. I didn't give you guys the full detail. I just started to give you the details. But now, I'm going to give full class. Is Daniel Adams part of the cult? Daniel Adams is as satanic, as demonic as Lucifer in the garden, as the serpent in the garden. Shoot. Nothing this guy does is that's not according to our scriptures. Daniel Adams is the first person I told about Lovy. And he took everything I told him and he took it back to Lovy. Like this people. These are all one of the first people. And so Daniel and those family, they came together and they started doing meetings in Miami. And Daniel said he's the prophet of Miami, which is fine. You want to be the prophet of Miami? Be a prophet of Miami. Is this like a mafia? We're supposed to be winning souls to the kingdom of God. This is not a mafia. This is not territorialism. What a shame. But it's well. We have a long way to go, y'all. We got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. This has happened for a very long time. It's happened for a long time, but it's gonna stop. I promise you. It's gonna stop. People's eyes are going to be open, and you guys are going to see. More and more people are going to come out and they're gonna share their stories. And they'll share their stories with receipts. I'm not talking about petty things. You see, I'm talking about criminal things. Allegedly. Criminal things allegedly. Not paid. Not your brother is crying online for $70. For $20. So it's time to turn the heat up. I think it's time to start playing all those notes of people sitting inside rooms saying my name. I think it's time for that now. It's time, y'all. And your favorite bishops. What's this one? Let me show you guys this one. Let me find one for you. Okay, it's on my other phone. Your bishops messaging people talking about how they're going to make people disappear. Your bishops in America. How this case needs to go. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? No more. We're going to talk now. So let's talk. Well, God bless you and have a great rest of your evening. Bye.